You greedy. And this is Mac DeMarco. You're listening to CKUA.
Mr. Mac DeMarco, thanks for joining us on CKUA.
No problem.
All right, and hope that you're enjoying your return visit, albeit fleeting, to Edmonton.
A day, yeah, just a day.
Just a day, wow.
Yeah.
Just a day every few months, I suppose, eh?
Yeah, that's pretty well. I haven't been back for since the Starlight Show, I don't think.
Really?
Or
Wow.
maybe I was back. My friend had a wedding, so maybe that. But,
Right.
But yeah, I didn't come home for Christmas this year, so
Ouch.
it's been a while.
How did that feel, being away from Christmas and everything?
We had a bunch of friends come over in New York, but it was definitely different and weird.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny. It just hit me the other day. You're a professional musician who lives in New York. You're from Edmonton. Your grandfather, who was a really noted Edmonton musician, sax player Hank DeMarco.
That's right.
He was a New Yorker, pro
Right.
musician that came to
That's
Edmonton.
right.
That's
That's
totally
correct.
crazy. Like,
Yeah.
how did Hank DeMarco, your grandpa, how did you wind up here?
I think through my grandma, because my grandma was an opera singer.
Right.
So she went to New York at some point on tour or something, met him somewhere. I don't really know the story that well, but yeah, and then she was like, I'm a prairie girl. They ended up having kids in New York, and then they all came back to Edmonton, back to the farms and stuff. So,
Right.
there you go.
That's wild stuff, eh?
Yeah.
So, did you any of that operatic and or jazz sax kind of musicality rub off on you? Were you aware of that when you were growing up?
I knew about it, but I think, yeah, they wanted to put me in piano lessons, wanted to put me in all this stuff, but I didn't. I did never want to do it. So, and then I picked up a guitar and did the guitar thing. So, but I don't know. Maybe I've never tried saxophone. Maybe I could shred
Or opera singing?
that too. I don't think I'd be very good at that.
Well, your bro, his namesake being your grandpa,
Yeah.
Hank DeMarco,
Mhm.
he's a ballet dancer. He went the sort of legit arts route.
That's
eh?
true,
That's
yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
And he's still here in Alberta, right?
No, he actually moved to Las Vegas a
Oh,
couple months
far
ago to join the ballet there,
Wow.
which is crazy because he's never really spent any time in the States. And Las
That's-
Vegas is a very strange place to
That's
move, like
right.
blindly.
Yeah.
But I think he's having a good time. I don't really know, but
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Did you guys grow up like in a musically immersive household?
Sort of. My mom played guitar a little bit, and she listened to music a lot. But my grandma's house was like, everybody sit around the piano. We go to down to, what was it called back then? The conservatory or something, or the Royal, the one that looks over the river valley.
Oh, the Cosmopolitan Music Society?
Something
Would
like
be the
that.
one?
I don't know, but I took guitar lessons in there.
Oh,
I think it's
cool.
a Grant McEwen building now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we go there, see her do her thing, and yeah, she always had a whole bunch of like fancy, like jazzy looking friends and stuff, So,
Would you guys sing tunes together and that kind of thing? Was it that sort of family?
I
musicality?
mean, at Christmas and stuff,
No,
she
but
pops
just,
a- just having fun with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, right. Well, shucks. So Christmas in New York this time around,
Yeah.
and you're making your home these days in Queens, right? You moved
Mhm.
away from Brooklyn. What
Yeah.
was the impetus for that?
I don't like living in apartments very much
Ah,
because you can't really play the drums and be loud in them.
I hear you. I'm a drummer too. I
So
can relate.
yeah,
Yeah.
so you get that fear that your neighbors are gonna get really mad at you. So
Did they ever get mad at you?
in Brooklyn, I lived in a very strange place, so that was okay. But I had roommates that were kind of like, although everybody was loud, so it wasn't a huge deal. But now I live in like a house down by the water, and yeah, there's like nobody on one side of the house. The other side is like the house is pretty far away. And the only time, the neighbors come by, but they're like, what you doing in there? I'm like, is that you that's been playing the drums? I'm like, yeah. They're like, sounds good. I was like, okay, cool.
There's a Tom Waits song called "What's He Building in There?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's in. They call it Far Rockaway, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing because all my life I thought Rockaway Beach was just a cool sounding name that the Ramones dreamt up.
Mm.
And then I went to
Me
New
too.
York once and I discovered, like,
It's a real thing.
wow,
Yeah.
it blew my mind.
The fact that New York has a beach was so confusing to me when I first moved there. It was like, what?
Yeah.
See, I'd spent visiting there. I spent most of my time in like Manhattan or in like right across the Williamsburg Bridge in Brooklyn or whatever. But yeah, and then you go out there and you're like, oh, and it's like not even. It's kind of a nice beach,
Oh,
It's like
really?
nice sand, It's not bad.
Is that the one on the cover of the record?
I live on because the Rockaways are kind of like a strip of land, so the beach is down here. I live up on the bay side,
Okay.
maybe like 6 or 7 blocks either way. So yeah, that's a little. It's like a little rocky, crappy bay beach by my house. Yeah.
And you can like see the water from your house. Like you can compose music and
Yeah, well, we have this we have a room in the back which is called I guess it's a Florida room. That's the style where the walls are all made out of these adjustable slats of glass. So the back room, it's kind of like a back porch, but it's like a glass room. And there's the Jamaica Bay there. We have like a seawall, and then there's JFK Airport's across the backyard.
Wow, freaky.
Yeah. It's very strange, yeah.
So can you set up the drum kit there in the Florida room?
Oh yeah, we
Wow.
did all the rehearsals for the new album out in the back room, and then we even did a little rehearsal in the backyard one day, which was kind of nice. So, yeah.
Are you still making all your records at home, like
Yeah.
with your own gear and
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
everything yourself?
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing because, you came to this pretty crazy fame, notoriety,
Mm-hmm.
acclaim, because you're doing this do-it-yourself thing entirely. A few years ago, you were just a guy with some gear making records by yourself.
Yeah.
And now you're this world figure, and you're a guy with some gear making records by yourself.
Yeah, it's
at
kind of
your-
weird.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool too, though.
Does it just feel right? Is it just like the natural thing to do?
I don't know. I don't know how to do it any other way. I've been in the studio a couple times, and I always feel really uncomfortable. So I don't know. I do it the way I know. I don't know. I think there's something to be said about an artist making something in their own personal space is a little bit different than a controlled environment too. So
Well, the songs feel so phenomenally personal. Like it feels like you've immersed yourself in the creative process. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's what happens. Maybe you
So
just.
I mean, I don't see anybody. The only person that hears them before they come out is Kira probably. And yeah, I just kind of sit alone for like a month or two. So yeah, it's weird too because I don't bounce ideas off anybody.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I'm nervous that they'll I don't take any criticism. I just send it to the record label and I'm put it out, and they're like, great, okay, yeah, sure.
Right.
So I don't know. Worked so far.
Kira doesn't offer any friendly tips or.
Kira's criticism is kind of like, yeah, that sounds good. Or sometimes she'll be like, that Prince song, It's Gonna Be Lonely, where all this crazy stuff happens at the end and every bar is completely different. Do something like that. I'm like, I can't. I can't do that. I'm not that good.
Well, it's really interesting for me because everybody's probably that's aware of you and your music is aware that you're a really flamboyant stage performer and that you have a lot of personality that shines through and charisma. You've got this kind of zany, and everybody's like, oh, Mac DeMarco, he's that zany guy.
Yeah.
But if I didn't know any of that and I just sat down and listened to the records, I would think,
Yeah.
Mac DeMarco, he's that beautiful confessional guy that sings about joy and love and yearning and pain, I mean,
Yeah.
how comfortable are you sharing that on the records and then going out there in the larger world and being that?
At this point, I'm pretty comfortable with doing it. I mean, it's part of the thing where it's I don't see anybody, so when I'm doing it at home, it's kind of well, and then you do kind of get the oh, whoa, wait a minute. For example, the thing with the address at the end of the album and stuff is I wasn't really thinking straight when I did that. But
for those that don't know, you literally, in the last 10 seconds of your album, invited people to come to your house and gave your address.
Yeah.
And in fact, you offered a cup of coffee. if
That's
they
true,
stopped
that's
by.
true.
And I'm sure there are some who've probably taken you up on that.
Yeah, 500 people or
For
so
real?
so far. Yeah, so many.
Is there anybody there right now, fending? them
There
off?
could be some kids there, or we have other roommates as well, so
right.
maybe. But yeah, it's kind of great. But I mean, that's the thing. It's kind of especially in the middle of the winter in the Rockaways when I did the album, I'd only lived there in the winter. I was like, man, this is lonely. I live 15 miles away from Manhattan or where anybody lives. Nobody comes to visit. So, I was in the mindset to kind of be that's how the songs were written. And I was like, man, I wish somebody would come visit me. So I put the address. Little did I know, Rockaway turns into Beach Town in the summer, and everybody goes every day. So I was like, whoopsie. But I don't regret it. It's cool. I've met a lot of cool people. But
Probably had to buy some coffee, lots of extra
a lot of people
coffee.
bring it over,
They
actually,
bring
which
you
is nice.
coffee. Oh, that's
Yeah,
so sweet.
we get, and it's become this thing because so many people have written about it and stuff where what's that coffee company, Stumptown or whatever, they'll send us mugs and cups and stuff.
Do you get crazy perks for being this guy whose music people love? Are there things that you get that nobody else can get?
I don't know.
Coffee companies send you free coffee.
I mean, I guess it's nice. It's cute. It's nice of them to do. I get free Vans now because I wear these all the time, and
Or you
What
get free
else?
shoes. I thought you meant free like tour vans. I was
No,
gonna say,
no, no,
that's
no.
pretty
Yeah,
amazing.
that would be sweet. But I get, I don't know.
Do you ever get like the backstage VIP, like Mac DeMarco, please come to our VIP lounge, or
Not real. I mean, if I have friends in bands that are also doing well, so I'll go hang out with them. But
yeah.
I don't know. I'm not really. I've met a couple celebrities in the last few months.
Oh yeah.
But
What kind of celebrities?
we met Jack Black in L.A. We had breakfast with him. That was cool. Jonah Hill, we met a little while ago. Turns out he's a big fan. Really nice guy.
He's a fan of your music.
Yeah,
How
but
does that feel? You find out like a super genius like that.
yeah, I don't know.
is a
It's
fan.
crazy.
Wow.
It's pretty cool. But yeah, so I mean, I think most people still are kind of like, that guy looks stinky. So I don't get it that much. But now maybe it's starting to happen. You know, someday.
You're gonna have to get some extra stink on, I guess.
Yeah,
if
that's
you wanna
right.
fend that off.
Yeah.
Well, it seems to me that as the world kind of like comes to know more about you, you definitely are drawing close to you those that you know and love. I mean, like you're on the road right now with some past members of Makeout Videotape that used to play in the band with you
Yeah.
on the bill, and I mean Alex Calder is a hometown Edmontonian.
That's right.
It always feels like you have your friends and family close to you and your musical mates as well. Is that kind of like how do you stay grounded? Like, is that a way that you stay grounded with all this crazy
Yeah, I don't know.
circus?
I mean, I
flying
think it's
around?
just at the point we're at now, it's kind of like, we can choose where we want to play. We get to choose who we want to bring. Before it was different when we had to do opening slots and whatever, what have you. But I don't know. I like these bands. I don't really listen to that much contemporary music unless my friends are making it. So kind of just makes sense for me to bring my homies with me.
And even though you're in New York, like if you're that far, I mean, you're in New York City, and yet you're basically living in like another world way out in the boonies. So you probably
Yeah.
don't get into town and check out music that much. Hey?
I do sometimes, but it is a big task.
Yeah.
It's kind of like got to find somewhere to sleep when I go in the city. The train doesn't really run. It's like,
Wow, sounds like Edmonton.
it's sort of, yeah. Kira goes in every day, though. She's a real trooper.
All right, that's the A train, right?
A train, that's right.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun. I was interested to note that I've met your mom a couple times. I was interested to know that she's become kind of like a global celebrity in her own right.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. Yeah.
She, I guess this is an aspect of having a certain amount of marquee appeal. You can say things like, I would like you to please fly my mom to Australia.
That wasn't even my idea.
That
is
wasn't
the
your
fu-
idea
No,
that she
the
emceed the
festival. My booking agent / manager was in Australia, and she called me one day, and she's like, "Hey, I'm with the guy that runs Laneway. They want to like have your mom MC," and I was like, "All right, like cool, So lucky for Ag, she had a really good time down there. So
Was she comfortable on stage? Was it easy for her?
yeah, well, she like did all this research while she was still here. She had this like big binder with all the
Pro.
bands. They didn't make her introduce like the gigantic, but like she never introduced St. Vincent or FKA Twigs or anything. But she was chilling with them. But yeah, she'd come out and have her binder and be like, she had these little speeches for like Courtney Barnett, like is here for you tonight, Melbourne. Like she's gonna rip the eyeballs out of your sockets. Like it was crazy. And all the bands were really stoked to have her around. It was a treat.
Well, I guess that's something you probably share with her is like the ability to just, connect with people on stage.
Yeah.
I was thinking, it's always such a barrier for people. Was there ever a moment where you kind of became comfortable in your own skin on stage, or when did that happen for you? Because you're obviously very self-possessed and you're fearless, or it appears that you're fearless to go anywhere your next impulse takes you when you're on
I don't know. I
stage.
think a lot in the early days, drinking helped a lot. Yeah. But I don't
write
drink
this down.
before we play anymore. So
You don't?
Well, because it's like I got so used to that now it's kind of like the like buzz comes from going out and being like a little bit more spooked, going out there. So yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know. It's funny. I think we've gotten to a point now too where it's kind of like we're playing these big places, and sometimes I get a little bit nervous at festivals or weird things we aren't as used to doing. But like show like this, it's like it's our show. Like everybody's here to see us. Like it's nothing really to be nervous about. People just want to hang with us. It's like kind of sweet.
Yeah, that is sweet. Do you have like a mission when you go out there? Is there something you're trying to accomplish when you get there?
I want to have fun with my band. I want everybody in the audience to have fun with us. And, represent the songs in some way, even if it's kind of sketchy. But that's kind of the last thing I think about. But yeah, just have a good time.
Well, you always seem to kind of turbocharge the good time with an eclectic selection of covers. I mean, you always throw in
Sometimes, yeah.
unlooked for covers, shall we say? Are there any that
Yeah.
you're doing on this tour?
There's a few. We've thrown away like the medley of a whole bunch of stupid covers,
Right.
but we do. Now we'll just do like one stupid cover for longer. But I don't know. It really just depends. If I break a string, the guys will bust into whatever they want. Lana Del Rey sometimes, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Coldplay. I haven't been breaking strings that much, but we've been doing a little bit of Steely Dan here and there, a little
Steely
Metallica.
Dan.
You know.
Metallica.
Yeah, all bands that we are just not good enough to really cover, but it's okay. You know, people don't seem to mind too much.
You were super kind. CKUA came to you hat in hand and said, hey, we're doing this thing for our fundraiser. We're asking artists to cover other artists' material. And you proffered us this cover, which has since been commercially released, but for a while, you let CKUA have this beautiful recording that you did of an
Has it
Eric
been really
Clapton
released
song.
now?
Well, it's on a mixtape that came out. It was like a
okay.
compilation for
I don't know.
sneakers, or I can't remember what it was.
Who knows?
It was on a cassette somewhere.
Okay.
But for a while, CKUA was the only place that anybody could hear Mac DeMarco sing "Change the World,"
That's what's up.
and that was definitely
Love that
definitely-
song.
Yeah. How did you come to be connected? Because for me, I had never paid any attention to that song until I heard your version. Then I realized how gorgeous the tune is.
I didn't pay any attention to it. I'm not a big Eric Clapton fan, but that song, what I realized about it is Eric Clapton wrote the verses. They sound like we're like, if I could be their king, and it's like really very Eric Clapton. But then the chorus is written by Babyface, and that's why it's so funky.
Right.
Clapton can't write a
Babyface.
chorus like that. There's no chance.
Babyface has got some soul tricks. up
Oh
his sleeve.
yeah.
So did you become a fan of like the music of other producers who are? I mean, you're somebody that can play literally bass, guitar, drums, keys.
Yeah. Well, a little bit of everything.
Right.
Nothing that
Yeah.
well. But,
Did you become a fan of like other polymaths like that, like people that could just do it all, like one man armies, like Prince, say for instance?
Yeah, I mean, it's. Yeah, I mean, if you, it's usually like I'll get into the music, then you find something out like that, like somebody like, yeah, Prince did this whole album by himself when he was 16. It's like, what, you know? But no, yeah, Prince is amazing. Paul McCartney's done it a bunch of times on records. Even guys like Ariel Pink and you know that kind of scene, like our Stevie Moore, like they've been doing like maybe more along the same lines as I have, like kind of crappier recording gear, but like great songs, you know, just doing it just to do it. You know?
For sure. And you know, it feels like when I listen to records, it feels like somebody that's doing it because it means something to them and because
Yeah.
it's an impulse. And
Nobody
I feel
knows
like
why you do it, but you just do it.
you just do it.
Yeah.
Would you ever consider doing anything else, or did you ever do anything else?
I don't know. That's a funny thing. I get asked that, and then did I ever do anything else? Pretty much no.
No, hey, just
Kind of
odd
like
jobs.
flubbed through school. Didn't go to post-secondary. Worked jobs that I just really didn't want to be at.
What kinds of jobs were you working?
Grocery stores, construction jobs, landscaping, veterinary clinics.
Veterinary clinic.
That
Sounds adorable.
tons and tons of stuff, crappy stuff.
Yeah.
You know. But now I don't have to do any of that for a little while at least, which is not bad. You know.
Do you ever feel like, wow, I'm 25. You're 25, right?
Mhm.
You ever feel like, wow, I'm 25 and I've been like doing all this stuff for all these years. It's
Yeah.
been like a half dozen years since you started really seriously making records.
Yeah.
And what, almost 4 years now since Mac DeMarco has been a thing
Yeah.
in the recording world. Do you ever feel like, man, I'm so young. What's going on?
Yeah. I don't know. It's pretty weird.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 40 now, so to me, I'm like, what? He's 25. That's
Yeah.
insane.
I don't know. It's working out okay, I guess. Yeah. It's kind of like it's funny too because I think I've been like in it the whole time, like on tour the whole time, where I don't really realize how much shit is going on,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But it's going crazy,
Yeah.
and then I don't know. And then thinking about how long we've actually been doing it is like, what the hell? But no complaints, you know. I'm lucky. You gotta remember that you're Centarpia.
You know,
I thought you were the sound guy, not the lighting technician.
last time I got to talk to you was right, like, about 6 months before Salad Days came out. No,
Yeah.
4 months.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
It was New Year's Eve, and I remember while we were chatting, you mentioned that it was coming out on April 1st.
Yeah.
And it was going to be called Salad Days. And you played a bunch of songs from the record. And then you told us I wasn't supposed to say or play any of that stuff.
Yeah,
'cause
they
my
got pretty
label
mad
said-
at me, yeah.
They were mad, really.
Well, not mad, but they were just kind of like, Mac, so. But I always end up doing that anyway, so whatever.
Yeah.
And the albums always end up leaking like 2 months early, too, so
That's kooky, hey?
who cares? It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
why wait for people to be able to listen to it? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Is there something that you got cooked? I mean, you obviously must be always doing stuff like you had, that barbecue soundtrack out of the blue of instrumentals.
Mm-hmm.
And, when we asked you for a cover, you're like, yeah, I just happen to have recorded this Eric Clapton cover.
Yeah.
Are you always working on stuff whenever you have a moment?
If I'm at home, yeah.
Yeah.
On the road, it's a little bit trickier because, like, we're like crammed in a small van, and it's a spacious van,
Spacious.
sort of. It's not a tour bus though.
Right.
It's a van.
Yeah. You'll get there.
No, never. I'll never take a tour
Really?
bus.
You don't want
no.
to take a tour? Why
No.
not?
That's not my. I don't like that.
Are you too, blue collar for that? You're too real?
Yeah, I don't. It's just waste of money. First of all these bands my age right now, or like our level are like in buses now. It's like you guys are gonna be broke in like 2 years. I'm gonna be chilling. And like to have a bus call, I don't need that in my life. Oops, screw that. But no, I don't know. Yeah, I can't really. I don't know. I don't want to be like the annoying guy in the back of the van with like softly strumming on an acoustic guitar and like singing. Everyone just tell me shut the hell up. So I don't know.
Well, Mac, I better turn you loose so you can, get your game face on or whatever it is that you do
Put
before
my
you
makeup on.
Yeah, exactly. Are there any ill-advised revelations you'd care to share with us before we let you go?
Ill-advised revelations.
Yeah.
Brush your teeth every day.
And I do.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
Sometimes more than once.
Yeah. That's what's up.
Well, Mac, thanks a million. It's always great to get a chance to catch up with you, and you're always so generous where CKUA is concerned and where Alberta culture in general is
Yeah,
concerned.
no problem. My pleasure.
It's immensely appreciated.
No problem.
All right, we'll catch you later. Hey.
Yeah.
All right.
Chillin'.
All right.
That's what's up.